You are listening to the Loving Your Own Soul podcast, and I'm your host, Britt. Guided by my own intuition, my intention is to deliver genuine conversations centered around health and wellness, spirituality, self-expression, and culture. In this space, I will provide you with real-life stories, theories, and inspiring perspectives to help you uncover and tap into your own true potential. I'm so grateful you've chosen to tune in with me on this mindful exploration to living a more fluid life through a deeper connection to the soul. Now let's dive into today's journey. Hello. This episode, as I'll call it, is different than my typical style of interviews or solo episodes, as I actually have a selection of clients who were willing to anonymously come on the pod today. So if you aren't familiar, in addition to podcasting, I'm also a certified health coach, spiritual life coach, entrepreneur, energy healer, plant-based nutrition advocate, speaker, and integrative wellness enthusiast. I utilize the concept of bioindividuality as my guiding principle to helping overwhelmed individuals embrace the fact that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to life. My unique approach combines ancient wisdoms, quantum energy, and spirituality to truly guide women towards leading more aligned lifestyles, careers, and relationships. Known as the coach for the wellness and spiritually curious, I love to lead with integrity, compassion, and intuition while showing that you too can find a state of balance in our modern world. So, whether or not you have been curious about what coaches actually do for people, the benefits one may receive from working with a coach, the benefits of receiving energy healings and intuitive guidance, taking part in a wellness program container, or simply just what happens when you set the intention to better yourself, this episode is truly for you. The little snippets included from each client are super short, and I've included the timestamps in the show notes so you can also select where you'd like to listen. I truly hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions about working with me or simply seeking help from someone outside yourself or friends and family, please connect, as I would love to chat with you. Working with someone to uncover our blind spots is truly so wonderful, as I know you've heard me speak about it before with my own experiences. But I just thought this episode would be something unique and fun for those who feel inclined to listen. I myself have a variety of programs and ways to work with me, including a 6-day gut health reset, Life in Balance 9-week self-paced wellness program. I also have my energy healing and coaching containers. If you feel interested, you can visit the link in the show notes, thebrittolson.com, to learn more. Or as always, you can always connect with me on Instagram at thebrittolson so that we can connect and just learn more about your specific needs. I also have a ton of other coaches and wellness professionals, astrologists, and so many people, honestly, to also refer you to if there is someone or something better suited to you and your needs. Now, one last thing before we jump into it. If you are looking to upgrade any of your wellness tools or products, definitely head over to thebrittolson.com/favorite products for discounts to some of my favorite products and brands, including Energy Bits, which those are the magical pills of seaweed that are changing everyone's health for the better. Cured Nutrition, which includes supplements and elixirs and CBD products. AcuShield, which is the medically rated blue light blocking tech. And I will say the only blue light blockers that actually had me sleeping like a baby after one night's use. That is not a joke, and so much more. So if you need an upgrade, definitely go check that out. It is also linked in the show notes, of course. And now, without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. Enjoy, and I will see you on the other side.
And I've been working with Britt for a little bit over a year now, probably. I first started working with her as a health coaching client. I reached out to her because I've been dealing with lifelong digestive issues, and it was really something I wanted to get a handle on. And I've always really struggled because while I've focused on health and wellness for a long time, I feel like all the other approaches really were hard for me in that it was like, if you follow these steps, you'll get these results. But I feel like other approaches really didn't cater to the fact that we're all unique individuals. And that's really what Britt has done for me, is just kind of opened my eyes to my own intuition and how important it is to listen to that, even with things like the foods that I'm eating and the type of movement that I'm making part of my life. So yeah, she just really gave me that permission to view myself as an individual. And that's how I see her working with her clients, is just really embracing the fact that we're all different and there's not a one size fits all approach to health and wellness and just life in general. The tips she gave me and the work we've done together, especially focusing on digestion, have been life-changing. I don't say that lightly at all. The things that I've learned from her have really changed my health for the better. And they've been things that I feel like I can really sustainably take through the rest of my life and do. And I recently did her gut health reset, which was so amazing. Just a huge fan of her recipes. And like I said, she is the queen of all things digestion. I can't say enough about how much I've learned from her in that regard.
Britt, when I first started working with you, I wanted to get my cycle back. That was my number one priority. I had been on birth control for over 16, 17 years. And in 2018, I went off of birth control in July. And I started working with you mid 2020 and still didn't have a cycle back. I'd gone to my OB for several appointments, all sorts of blood work, was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. But the main concern of the doctors at the time in 2017 and 2018 into 2019 was that I was too lean and that I was the reason I had lost my cycle. Through all the doctor's appointments and who knows how much money, I finally went, hey, you know what, let's go the complete holistic route and really work on the intuitive hits. And I'm so thankful I found you. We started working our coaching in October of 2020. There were things that I wanted to work on and get better, get my cycle back. You suggested that I lean into an intuitive hit, that I should cut out meat. I'd been having protein aversions for the better part of a year and had a really high protein diet coming from a CrossFit background. And within 3 weeks of me going fully plant-based, my cycle returned, which was incredible. It's kind of insane that within 3 weeks of working with you, you accomplished what I had set out to do that doctors couldn't do for the last 2 years. So I'm so grateful for that. And every month when I get my cycle back, it's the time to celebrate. And now I'm able to focus on other things to work with. In our time together, I have gotten promoted. I've gotten 2 big raises, one of which was completely unexpected. I reconnected with my now boyfriend and took the leap and left Columbus, Ohio, that I have called home for 20 years, left and moved to Denver. And earlier this year, really started to working on manifestation and working on manifesting a move to DC. At the end of the year, by the end of December of this year, I will be a resident of DC. So very exciting to see how manifestation can work, and just setting intentions and affirmations and really trying to find the answers within myself and asking the universe for help instead of just relying on a doctor or a manager. So I just really appreciate it. And I know I'm rambling, but I wish I could put into words in this video how essential you have been since we started working together, and just how you've opened me up to just so many different possibilities and things that I didn't think were possible. It's been great. You're great. I can't recommend this program enough. We signed up for an initial 3 months, I believe, and now I'm in another 9 months, and I did your Life in Balance 9-week program. I can't speak highly enough. I wish I could put into words just how much you've changed my life, how much you continue to change my life, and how I look at things and then look inward. And I appreciate you, and you can change the world, and I know you can change every single person you meet.
And then I've also done energy healing sessions, which have just been such a gift to me. It's not something I ever really had done before I did the sessions with Britt. So I've done 2 sessions now, and both experiences were so different and so unique, but so powerful. And I feel like there were things kind of bubbling under the surface for me that I couldn't quite access. And in those sessions, she really brought those things forward and gave me very tangible things to move forward with and to take into my life. And I'm just so appreciative and so grateful for everything I've learned from Britt.
So I have known Britt for about a year now, and over the past year, I have had the privilege and the honor to work with her and learn from her in a couple of different ways. So the main one is that I had the privilege of going through her beautiful Life in Balance 9-week program. And what I loved so much about the program was that it really was not just about nutrition, even though that was, of course, a huge part of it. And the recipes and the meal plans were so high vibrational and supportive of healing in so many different aspects of my physical health. But she also went the extra mile of really adding in the spiritual, energetic, and mindfulness components. I don't think that there are a lot of nutrition and health programs out there that include things like meditation and journaling and being in tune with the sunrise and the sunset and getting out in nature. It was just so beautifully and holistically done that it really gave me the full picture of what health really is beyond just what we eat. It's really so much more than that, and that is what Britt has shown me. She has inspired me to really get closer to nature in the way that I eat, and to understand that eating plant-based isn't about being perfectly vegan and never making any, never allowing any animal protein or anything like that into your diet. It's really not about that. It's not about the rigidity and the strictness, but it's just about bringing your body back to its most natural state of eating in a way that's close to the earth, that's nourishing, and also taking care of yourself from that more holistic perspective of, again, getting outside, making sure your sleep is on point, making sure your mental and spiritual are on point. So I'm so grateful to Britt for giving me that example of what holistic health can really, really look like. And beyond that, I have just received so much wisdom and guidance from her through following her on social media, being on her email list, and listening to her podcasts. I feel like I'm always learning more from her, whether it's about human design or spirituality or travel. She is truly a wealth of information and wisdom, and she conveys that wisdom in such a kind, loving, and accessible way. So I am so grateful to Britt for all that she has taught me and brought into my life. And I couldn't recommend working with her more, simply because of that holistic approach that she uses and all of the incredible depths of wisdom that she has to offer.
So from the moment I met Britt, she was always just like a really super kind person, and we did an energy healing session together, and the container was I felt extremely held. I felt super supported, and it's really hard to describe, but Britt's energy is just like this loving, warm energy. And during my energy healing session, I was very antsy, so a lot of energy was moving through me. But afterwards, the intuitive messages that she shared with me were extremely spot on and really, really powerful for me. So I took a lot of what came through, and something that was really cool is that she actually trans-channeled, so my guides spoke through her, telling me to breathe, do breath work essentially, because there's so much, we hold so much in our breath, and that actually made a giant shift in me. So I believe that after that session, I stopped holding my breath, which is something that I really struggled with, and that's a trauma response. It's something I still pay attention to now because I realize I don't hold my breath anymore, and that is huge because we need to be able to take these big, deep breaths and release what isn't serving us. So that session in itself was super I would say transformational for me, because I was able to release so much stuff. And then afterwards, days after the session, I had a lot of emotional release. So a lot of crying to release whatever was shifted and moved in my body. And, you usually just feel so much lighter after a session. And I feel like the biggest thing is that I just felt so like held, and the meditation that she takes you through really grounds you into your body, which is super important. And it's not something that a lot of healers do. And it's something that I personally need. So that felt really good for me. And overall, it was just an amazing experience. And like, Britt's just like an amazing freaking soul. And she's just so gifted and talented. And her energy healing is extremely high frequency. So it's not, it's not working in the 3D. It's working on much higher dimensional levels, which means you're able to release more and get deeper into the healing, the emotional healing that we're all trying to do. So overall, Britt is amazing.
As I was looking back through my journals today and pondering back over them, I was looking over some of the pages and noticed the date, and it was completely wild to me to see that it hasn't even been a full year, just almost exactly 11 months to the day since I started working with Britt. And it feels like it's so much longer ago just because of the big shifts and the amount of change that I've had. And thinking back to where I was a year ago doesn't even feel like the life that I'm living today. I'm just in such a different space emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Kicked off working with Britt by taking the Life in Balance 9-week program, and started that when I was at a place where I just felt incredibly stuck in a rut, really doubting myself, my body, my ability to cope with a lot of things going on in my life, and just feeling scared overall. And doing that Life in Balance program, it really gave me a chance to start building a relationship with myself, something that all these years of seeking external validation and opinions of others and not liking being alone, to really shifting into enjoying and sometimes truly craving that alone time with myself and building that relationship and really showing myself love and trust and honoring my own body and mind. Also gotten a chance to do a number of Reiki sessions with Britt. And while initially with Reiki, I had some doubts or wasn't sure how that would work from a distance healing perspective, every session that I had with Britt, I just felt so much open up inside of me. I just truly felt the whole energy and mood in the room and with myself shift, not just then, but in the days to come. And it never ceases to amaze me anytime I talk to Britt, whether it's a quick message or a longer session. She just always seems to have something to say or a recommendation that really helps me. One of the big shifts from the 9-week Life in Balance program too was really shifting my whole relationship with food. So rather than looking at certain foods as good or bad or evil, really just looking at the meals I was putting in my body as an opportunity to provide nourishment that would make me feel strong and happy and healthy and not just be weighing me down, both physically and mentally, while as starting a lot more of those routines for myself and time to just care for me, take care of me, learning to trust my own intuition more, when to say no versus when it feels like a hell yes. And really just getting a lot clearer on my intentions and my needs and working on my own healing. It's absolutely wild to me to think where I was 11 months ago, dealing with all of these chronic health issues that weren't always well explained, as well as some traumatic losses. And now being at a point where I just feel like the relationship I've built with myself and the way that I've started honoring my own body, just completely shifting my perspective into one much more full of gratitude, full of hope, acknowledging the challenges and the difficult times that I've gone through, but really feeling like they were there for a purpose and has helped put me in this place to receive healing and really see that healing journey continue every day to an extent, but especially in these last 11 months, a lot of leaps and bounds. I highly recommend to anyone that is struggling with life situations with themselves, feeling stuck, feeling really heavy and weighed down, to take a moment and reach out to Britt, find out all the great things she offers. And she is an amazing person, coach, and has really helped guide me through a lot. I can always go to her with anything and never feel any ounce of judgment, but only compassion. And Britt just has this level of deep understanding that I feel like we got to so quickly. And it's been really incredible to work with a person that has, every time I speak with her, there's something new I'm learning, this new wealth of knowledge, but also really having her help me learn to tune into myself, and continue to grow my relationship with myself, and those around me. And I think also taking time to really slow down and look for notice those synchronicities in life, and just start to be more playful and enjoy my own life more and really make it what I want it to be.
I first met Britt when I was on her podcast almost a year ago, and then we became fast Instagram friends, and I reached out to her a couple months ago. I think we've been working together for 6 months now, and she's my coach for about 6 months, and I've also done healing sessions with her, which are absolutely magical. So I'll talk first about the healing sessions. They are just amazing. I used to be a big meditator. I'm a yoga teacher. I do a lot of that work, but lately I've been having a lot of resistance to meditating. And not only has Britt helped guide me through that, but her healing sessions have really helped open that door back up for me. They are just absolute magical. They're so nourishing to the nervous system, to your soul. They just fill me up with good energy and creativity and inspiration. And she always is able to know what I need without me exactly verbalizing it. Although we talk plenty about what I need to be working on, or we need to be working on, and energetics and that goodness. But I love healing sessions with Britt. It feels like the ultimate self-care energetically and physically. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm excited to book my next one. As for coaching with Britt, I originally didn't know what I wanted in a coach or what I needed in a coach. I own my own business. I also teach yoga. My life is a little bit all over the place. And before I started coaching with Britt, I was feeling like I had all these pieces in the air and I didn't know where I wanted to go next. And I also had this big feeling like this past summer was going to be a huge transformation for me, which it was. And I was scared to do that alone. So starting coaching with Britt was just the perfect thing. She was there for me every step of the way, every bit of transformation, every small piece of advice. I feel like I broke through a lot of barriers, a lot of resistance, and I always leave our sessions with a little bit more clarity, a little bit more hope, and just a little bit more direction. Britt has helped me with everything from my spiritual work to my business, to my personal health, to my personal development, to even food. When I had a rough go about this summer with food and some health results, Britt was there with some great suggestions that weren't overwhelming, that were accessible, that were fun, that felt really nourishing. And I think that is the biggest thing overall. And, a lot of people who know me know that I'm all about nourishing the nervous system, but working with Britt has just been nourishing on so many different levels. My physical body, my emotional body, my mental body. It's just really nourishing to work with someone who cares about you and cares about your next step and is there for you to listen, to hold space, and to guide your healing and transformation. And that's really just quite amazing, all in one.
I'd just like to share a few words of why I am so happy that I worked with Britt and why I would highly recommend her. I was following her on Instagram, and her posts were very inspiring and wise, a lot of insight. So I ended up doing her smoothie challenge, which I loved. The recipes were all delicious and I just felt really good afterwards. So I ended up signing up for her 9-week life and balance program. And that I really enjoyed. She gives lots of great tools such as meditations, journal prompts. For me, especially the recipes. Those were the best part. That's always been my issue on having a healthy lifestyle. Were, really good recipes. And she gives a lot of great recipes. Also the one-on-ones, her compassion and her wisdom, it really comes through. Her sincerity. And with all that and the tools that she gives you and the information that she gives you in your one-on-ones, it has helped me to live a balanced life and to be able to come back to center when needed. And right now seems to be often. Anyway, so yes, I would highly recommend working with her if you had the opportunity and you feel called. You won't be disappointed. I know I would.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of my wonderful clients and friends and community members who jumped on here just to share a little bit about their experiences with me. I hope that you gained something tangible from that. And as always, definitely please be sure to reach out to me whether you have any questions about connecting together in any of my various offerings or simply want to be connected with another coach or somebody who I would recommend. As always, I truly believe that not one person has all of the answers for every person. And that is why I really do keep just a container of different coaches and wellness professionals, astrologists, etc., whatever you need in my back pocket. So that way I can just most appropriately help to guide or introduce you to the person best suited to help you. And as always, if you enjoyed the show and feel inspired, it would truly mean the world to me if you could subscribe, rate, and review. When you do so, that is really how you help us podcasters continue to grow our show and just in return, sharing more inspiration to those on the other side who need to hear some of these messages. Thank you again for tuning in. I so appreciate it, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you again soon.